Today, we're doing something a little different. We're not just going to talk about an idea, we're going to build one. Right here, right now. We're architecting a business from the ground up. And the mission? To create a digital escrow service for Africa's absolutely booming freelance economy. Let's get into it. Everything we're about to discuss boils down to this single sentence. It's about a very specific kind of fear. A fear that stops projects before they start, that limits talented people, and that slams the door on huge global opportunities. So what exactly is this fear? Well, it's the fear of the unknown. Just look at this. The problem is on both sides of the fence. Picture it. You've got a fantastic web developer in Nigeria working with a client, say, in the UK. The developer is thinking, okay, if I pour hours into this and send the final files, am I actually going to get paid? But at the exact same time, the client is wondering, if I wire this money across the world, is this person just going to vanish? It's a total standoff, right? A complete breakdown of trust that kills thousands of deals every single day. So if the problem is a massive gap of trust, then the solution has to be a bridge. We need to build something that lets both people cross that gap without being afraid. And that bridge, well, it has a name: digital escrow. Let's break this down. It's actually super simple. The client pays, but the money doesn't go straight to the freelancer. Nope, it goes into a safe, a digital lockbox that we control. It just sits there. The freelancer can see it's there, so they know the money is real. Then they do the work. Once the work is delivered and the client says, yep, this is perfect, then we unlock the box and release the funds. See? Nobody has to just hope for the best. The trust is literally baked right into the system. Okay, so that's the what. We've got the core idea, this digital trust bridge. But now comes the really hard part, the how. This is where we go from a cool concept to an actual working business blueprint. And let's be clear, we're not just building an app. We're building financial infrastructure. And this right here, this is the first hurdle. And honestly, it's the one that trips almost everyone up. They get so excited about the tech, the branding, the website, but they forget the most important part. It's not the code, it's the legal foundation. And if that foundation has cracks, the whole thing is going to come tumbling down. You have to remember, the second you hold someone else's money, you're in the world of financial services. That means there are rules, a lot of rules. You need special licenses, you have to follow incredibly complex payment regulations, you need systems to fight money laundering, protect customer data. I mean, the list goes on. The point is, you have to get this stuff perfect from day one, or the regulators can, and they will, shut you down in a heartbeat. So, with all of that legal stuff, all that heavy-duty tech, a question probably pops into your head. Can you, build this thing in your garage on a shoestring budget? The answer is a very, very clear no. This is not a cheap date. So where does all the money go? Well, you're paying for the custom tech platform, for all those lawyers to handle the legal setup, for building relationships with banks. You even need a chunk of cash just sitting there as a safety buffer. And on top of all that, you need incredibly smart fraud prevention systems. That's why we call this a medium capital venture. It's a serious investment, for sure, but it's not impossible. All right, the big question. How does a business like this actually make any money? The model is pretty straightforward, and it's built on two key pillars. The main engine is a small commission. Every single time a project is completed successfully, the platform takes a tiny slice, maybe somewhere between 1% and 5%. It's all about volume. The more transactions we can safely and successfully guide through the system, the more revenue we generate. Simple as that. Now, the second stream is really interesting. This is where we actually start to monetize trust itself. We can offer premium, paid services for people who want even more security or speed. Think about things like super fast dispute resolution if something goes wrong, or special badges that show a freelancer has been verified by us, or even priority access to your money. It's all about adding extra layers of value. So we've got the problem, the solution, the legal structure, and the revenue model. But what's the big picture dream here? The vision is huge. We're not just trying to build a service for one country, we're trying to build a continent-wide network of trust. And this is where the real magic happens. It's something called a network effect. The more talented freelancers that join the platform because they know it's safe and they'll get paid, the more it becomes this giant, irresistible magnet for clients who are desperate for that talent. And you guessed it, it works the other way around too. The more high-quality clients that start posting jobs on the platform, the more it attracts the absolute best freelancers. Each side feeds the other. It creates this powerful, unstoppable cycle of growth. This is how these kinds of platforms become massive. And that growth isn't random. It follows a clear roadmap. You start somewhere like Nigeria, a huge hub for talent, and you perfect the model. You build that network of trust. Once it's rock solid, you start expanding, step by step, to other key markets, Kenya, Ghana, South Africa, until you reach the ultimate goal, becoming the trusted payment system for freelancers across the entire continent. But, and this is a big but, we have to be real. A huge opportunity like this always comes with huge risks. Regulators can change their minds and freeze your business overnight. You will be in a constant battle against fraud. And because your entire company is literally built on the idea of trust, just one bad story, one scandal could destroy your reputation completely. This is exactly why that boring architectural planning we talked about earlier isn't just important, it's everything. It's what keeps you alive. And that really brings us to the most important point of this whole explainer. The great ventures, the ones that truly last and make a difference, they aren't just accidents. They're not improvised. They are designed. They are planned. They are architected with real purpose and foresight, from that legal foundation all the way to the risk management plan. So, I'll leave you with this final thought. We just walked through the entire blueprint for solving a massive problem of trust. So now I want you to look around at your job, in your community, in your industry. What gaps do you see? What fears? What broken systems are just sitting there? What problem is right in front of you just waiting for an architect to come along and design a solution?